Hello and welcome everyone to our first SAMPE Journal Q&A interview. Today we have Raj Manchanda, our new CTO, being interviewed by Scott Beckwith, our technology director and 42-year veteran of SAMPE. If you haven't read Scott's column in the March-April issue of the journal, you're in for a treat. Please do read it. He introduces Raj to our SAMPE community. They cover Raj's career background and what his interests are, mostly within the materials and process engineering technology community. And then they go on to talk about a new forum that Raj is planning. In closing, please bookmark your events calendar, which is where you're going to find the details of upcoming workshops, summits, conferences, and webinars, which Scott and Raj will touch on during their interview. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, gentlemen. Scott, Raj.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and appreciate that, Chris. And want to pass this on, and we will welcome very heartily Raj. I am Scott Beckwith. I'm SAMPE's technical director, and yes, I have been around for many years, and I've really enjoyed this particular society. It is a very healthy society. So with that, I'd like to introduce Raj as your new Chief Technology Officer, and I would like to reflect on his hiring a little bit. SAMPE has been in the growth area for many decades with materials and processing engineering. However, as a society, any society, we like to improve, we like to advance, and we need to renew a lot of our approaches. So with that, we'll be looking very hard at technology. Raj will be looking at emerging technologies and marketing opportunities. And we are very interested in keeping the emerging technologies going forward, not just with ourselves or amongst ourselves, but with other people that as he'll talk about. So today's introduction is aimed at giving you at least a rough idea of Raj's background, what his interests are, and where we're going. So you have a better feeling for understanding our new Chief Technology Officer. So I'd like to start with the first question to Raj. First of all, Raj, welcome to SAMPE.
Thank you.
We appreciate having you on board and look forward to working with you.
Thanks.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
That's so great. Thanks. And Chris, thank you for that wonderful, warm introduction. I do want to say that, it's an honor to work on this team. Here you are as a fellow of SAMPE. You have several decades of membership. Your resume, I believe, is about 78 pages long. So it's really a pleasure to join you, Chris, and the whole team at SAMPE. What really attracted me to the Society Society for the Advancement of Material and Process Engineering was this great opportunity. Here we are, many of us, actually all of us deal with plastics every day in our lives. So here's an organization, SAMPE, that can have a real positive impact in sustainability, actually in profitability and everything for our stakeholders. So I've started to meet the volunteer leadership, our board chair, Tim Shaughnessy, and our committee leadership, and I'm really honored to contribute to the growth of the global M&P community. Being a mechanical engineer with an MBA, I'm really eager to engage with community of experts at SAMPE located throughout the world who are interested in the commercialization of advanced materials and innovative technologies.
So Raj, tell us a little bit more about your background, what groups you've been associated with, what kind of things you've been doing for the past several years.
Sure. At ASME, I focused on advanced manufacturing and robotics for the society, and several of the organizations that I was working with included the NIST, Office of Advanced Manufacturing, America Makes, which is one of the NNMI's, National Network of Manufacturing Innovation Institutes, the ARM Institute, which is the Advanced Robotics for Manufacturing Institute in Pittsburgh, PA, the Association for Advancing Automation. A3 is the producer of the Automate Show, SME, and obviously ASME. When you factor in the potential of composites and applied materials, Scott, their impact on the supply chain, factory automation, data analytics, you start to see the tremendous potential of SAMPE's success.
Well, that's quite interesting. Can you give us an idea of some of the areas of interest you have with materials and process engineering and technologies? Because you've already teased us a little bit. So let's go a little further into that and tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I think, Scott, so what's really fascinating about SAMPE is that, we have this really in-depth knowledge in the aero vertical. We're very ingrained, and the knowledge and the expertise in the community is so strong. What's very exciting to me, and I'm sure to you also, is that the automotive industry, med tech, power generation, renewable, is all, they're all pivoting to these new platforms. And what's driving that? Materials innovation. And we are at the heart of all of that, Scott.
I agree. That is, you've hit some really high areas in there, and I think every one of those is interesting and a lot of areas that we can focus on. So kind of as a follow-up question, you've given us kind of a tickler of some of these exciting areas that you've had background on. So that's nice for moving forward. So you've mentioned technologies, you've mentioned emerging technologies. Tell us a little bit more about this forum. What is the name of the forum, and where are we going with this forum that you've talked about?
Yeah, I think, Scott, so as I started to study the SAMPE membership and all the great programs that we've recently completed, I noticed that the multidisciplinary nature of SAMPE was evident. It's already happening. The journal that you edit for us, we already have content on multidisciplinary topics. You're covering it. So I think what yourself, myself, our CEO, Zane, what we decided to do, we decided to launch a new initiative focusing on emerging technologies. And this is one piece of that initiative, what we're calling the Materials Innovation and Advanced Technology Global Leadership Forum. We're in the development stage now. So what we're trying to do is we're going to bring you this wonderful event in the first quarter of 2022 in beautiful Southern California. And the goal of the forum is to bring together the best of our communities and these other multidisciplinary communities and experts that we've started to touch upon to expedite industry solutions. It's all about expediting, what can industry do a little better. So more details will come very shortly. Thanks, Scott.
You kind of led us into a lot of emerging areas. What do you see in the world? What do you see anything from composites world or any other areas? What's happening out there that you feel will direct us?
And Scott, I think you're really onto something there. What I've started to do is I've started to evaluate various verticals. So we're all looking at aerospace, aviation, automotive and transportation, medical and dental, renewable energy for sure. I mean, this is a topic of great interest to our Gen Z audience out there, folks that are, I believe it's something like 60+ million in Gen Z who are entering the workforce, who will be our future consumers, who will be our future really audience. Oil and gas power generation, building and construction, electronics and computers, marine and defense markets. All of those verticals are going to be impacted by material innovations. And we,
Yes.
SAMPE, are at the center of that.
I fully agree with that, and it sounds very interesting. So where do we fit with our programs coming up? What kind of things can you talk about there?
Sure. I think, what's very important to me, and I hope this resonates with our audience, is that we all want a safe, clean, sustainable solution. When you buy a product, you want to know it was manufactured in the best environmentally friendly way. So things like that are very important to me, and I think to SAMPE also, of course. For example, GM recently announced that they are targeting 2035 to shift to an all-electric vehicle. That's really wonderful news to follow along what Elon Musk has done with his organization. Composites World has recently reported that air mobility is to be predicted to grow to $120 billion market opportunity by 2035. That is not going to happen unless our members and our friends in other verticals help us lightweight, help us with mechanical properties of materials. The strength and the adaptability is going to be critical. BASF really caught my eye. When I first joined last month, BASF executives announced that they, by 2030, are targeting $17 billion in revenues from what they call the circular economy. And what they do is they reuse products, they recover precious resources. And for BASF to say $17 billion is what we expect to generate, it's not just about environmentally friendly now. This is good for the bottom line.
So in the resources for your forum, to look at this bottom line and where we're going, what kind of SAMPE resources are you tapping into, and what kind of resources outside of SAMPE are you tapping into with your expertise?
Yeah, thanks, Scott. I think, part of it is right here in front of us. Thanks to your leadership, thanks to our, former executives at SAMPE, we already have a lot of the products. We have our annual SAMPE conference. We have the great CAMEX Expo. We also have a new technical community platform that's going to allow stakeholders to engage throughout the year. So, along with that, now that we've introduced the Materials Innovation and Advanced Technology Global Leadership Forum, we're going to start to pool resources and expertise from our various platforms. And as you mentioned, from other communities. My former employer at ASME, they do have many multidisciplinary experts focusing on materials. We are going to engage them and other communities out there who can help build the solutions.
It also sounds like there's a number of people that you're well aware of relative to diversity and inclusion, STEM and education, and these resources. So what kind of other things are you looking at? Because it sounds like you're really touching all the boxes here.
Yeah, Scott, that's really fantastic. That's very important to SAMPE. SAMPE has several committees that focus only on diversity and inclusion. Myself, what else we're doing is we're launching a technology advisory council. And I'm pleased to share that nearly 50% of that council is going to be it's going to be a great mix. So we have experts from various diverse communities throughout the world. We have colleagues from India joining us, colleagues from Germany. We have many of the executives from different companies joining. So I am really a very strong supporter of the diversity inclusion piece. And I think that's something I look forward to. And in addition, Scott, I do want to mention for the Leadership Forum, we're going to focus on automation and composites. That's going to be the first focus of that first Leadership Forum.
That's excellent. The other thing I think I'm hearing too is I like the word global. We're not just centered in ideas locally.
Exactly. And what's also very new and fascinating at SAMPE is we have a portfolio approach now for our products and services. So everything is going to be linked. Everything is connected. As Chris mentioned early on, there's a website where folks can access the great content in the journal. A lot of the webinars that we're putting on this year, all that is going to be available. But imagine when we pull it all together, and then our commitment to a portfolio approach means that the forum will just be the first in a series of useful conversations. There will be additional forums. So if you feel your topic of focus, automation and composites, is not covered by our first program, we will ensure that future forums cover additional topics of interest.
This is quite exciting, and I will say that I hate to conclude this interview right now, but we are coming back with other interviews, so this is just the first. And certainly I encourage people to follow up with Raj. We both have email addresses. Raj, what is your email address so
Yeah,
people
thanks,
can
Scott.
send you questions?
No, that's wonderful. I do look forward to hearing from our audience, hearing from your students, hearing from your colleagues. My email is raj@sampe.org, and that's raj@sampe.org. And Scott, I'm sure you also would love to hear from our colleagues.
Yes, I would say Raj will answer all the hard questions. I'll take the easy ones. And mine is scott@sampe.org, SCOTT @sampe.org. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to you with any final comments if you want.
I am going to say, so definitely bookmark your calendar, get that in there. We're looking at January 2022 for our Southern California launch event. We really want to welcome you out there. And you know, one of the benefits is you're going to meet a lot of new folks. You're going to meet folks not traditionally in your vertical. And I think SAMPE is the ideal platform to do that for you. So thank you, Scott. Thank you, Chris. It's been wonderful to talk to you. And as you mentioned, we're going to be doing a lot more of these. So looking forward to it, folks.
Thank you very much, Raj, and thank you to the listeners that were on this video, virtual video.